All right, what's going on? This is Brandon, aka Fresh, trying to get this week started off right. Y'all already know what to do. Hit the like button, smash the like button if you're listening to this on YouTube. Definitely want to get y'all's week going strong. We got 1 week. Is it next week? What's the day? We got 1 week or so, about 10 plus days until SEC Media Days, or right around that time, about a week and a half until SEC Media Days. So y'all already know what that means. That means that the college football season is officially almost underway. Like, that's really where things get going. So y'all already know what I need. Out the gate, run the likes up, smash the like button. Do that one time for me real quick so I can go ahead and get started. All right, so topic of the day. We posed a question rather on our social media in terms of what do y'all think Alabama's season outlook looks like based on the schedule. All right, so Alabama's schedule 2023, we'll put it up right here, and then we'll also get to some of the reactions that we got. I'm not going to go through game by game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give like a little bit of an overview of what I think are going to be games to kind of look out for, and then I'll give my own personal prediction of what I believe the schedule will kind of end up looking like. There's also going to be some factors that play into that, because it's not as cut and dry as, you know, some fans, they look at it and say, oh, it's this or it's that. All right, so in terms of the overall record, like I said, I'll get to that in just a moment. But the first one, and this is really going to be quick, Texas. I think everybody is pretty much on alert for Texas. I mean, if you think like me, Texas should have won that game last year. That game was in their hand, in the palm of their hand, and probably would have won it had Quinn Ewers not gotten injured early in that game. You know, y'all can debate that with whoever you want to. Not really interested in listening to it. That's my thoughts. That's my opinion. I'm standing on that. If you watch that game, it took a Bryce Young miracle and also Will Reichard's foot in order for Alabama to even, win that game. All of the signs were pointing to Texas was about to go and upset Alabama early in the season. I think Texas is coming. And the thing is that they're going to get Alabama when Alabama is trying to figure out who its starting quarterback is going to be. So that's going to be the first telltale sign, and the first order of business, rather, that Nick Saban and company, they got to figure that out. Like, I'm talking about ASAP. Like, there can't be we're going to alternate in South Florida and like, we don't really know and it's kind of up in the air. You're going to lose. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you're going to lose, and it's not going to be rather close. If you go into Texas and you don't know who your quarterback is, that can't happen. That has to be figured out, and it has to be understood that this isn't a short leash situation that we're waiting for whoever it's going to be, whether it's Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner. It has to be, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the guy. We're riding with this guy through thick and thin unless they get injured. This is what it's going to be. If you got any doubt going into that Texas game, then you're basically, it's fate, or you're leaving it to chance, rather. That's what's going to happen. And Alabama can ill afford to do that early into the season. Okay? So that's the first thing. And that's the thing where I'm going to be, really watching. I want to watch. It's kind of giving off vibes to 2014 when you had Blake Sims that was named the starting quarterback, and the whole fan base was split. It was just a lot of, people were just like, man, I'm not feeling this right now. He doesn't even seem like a typical Alabama quarterback. He's 6 foot, where's Jay Coker at? Like, that's where this is starting to feel. And he goes into West Virginia. He doesn't set the world on fire or anything like that, but, he plays pretty decent, does enough to give Alabama fans enough to say, okay, let's see how this goes. All right. So you go into, the rest of the season, Blake Sims pretty much proves himself. But again, it took that first game all right, started off kind of, okay, not the greatest, but it wasn't like terrible. And then the second half, he played a whole lot better. So whoever the quarterback is, it has to be at South Florida. It has to be, okay, you're the guy. Everybody believes you're the guy, from the coaches to the players. Everybody believes that you're the guy that is going to lead Alabama to whatever the actual goals are. So if the goal is the championship, which it always is, so that's the goal, then this has to be the guy from day one that you're going to ride with and say, okay, so that's Texas. And my thoughts on that is, if Alabama is sure about the quarterback position, then they can go, and since the game is at home, and I like how Alabama's defense looks as of right now, based on what I've seen in A-Day in the spring. I like where it looks at the moment. So I expect it to continue to build on that with the full fall camp. Kevin Steele, continuing to teach and let it be known, this, that, and the third. So as long as Alabama has things under control on the offensive side, especially starting with the quarterback, I believe Alabama can go in front of the 100,000 plus fans at Bryant-Denny and etch that game out and, continue it on. All right, so the next one that I have, Ole Miss. That's always a toss-up, just given its history, not necessarily with Lane Kiffin, but just the history. For whatever reason, that game has always given Alabama fits, going back to Hugh Freeze, 2014 and 2015, just stealing a win against Alabama. Very heartbreaking losses on both of those times. Now again, 2015, Alabama didn't have its quarterback situation fully intact. So again, those are things that I'm talking about. If the quarterback situation is iffy, Ole Miss has a good shot to overtake Alabama, even if it's a home game. And then you have, some other games, Arkansas. That's going to be something to watch because, KJ Jefferson's back. That's going to be something to take in consideration. It is a home game. Tennessee, that's a revenge type situation. New quarterback, Jalen Hyatt's not there, but still, I like what Josh Heupel's doing at Tennessee. They look, like a new program, not the same Tennessee. I do believe Alabama has the edge, but again, all of these are contingent. Y'all notice the theme here. All of this is contingent on the quarterback position. All right. So I'm hedging everything literally on who's the quarterback and how the quarterback is going to look from game one. And if the coaches and everybody are on board. If y'all remember, I'm going back to 2015, even with 2014, everybody was on board with Blake Sims, but 2015, Jake Coker had to win over the team. And he did that with the gutsy performance against Ole Miss. Yes, Alabama lost the game, but he won the team. Everybody was like, hey, we riding with this guy. So I need to see that at some point during the season. And if I see that, then I believe Alabama has something. But they got to figure it out quickly because, this isn't 2014 or 15 where you got, a few bums on the schedule and you can kind of run through some teams who, you just kind of run through. Like I said, this isn't the old Tennessee. Tennessee had its issues, the coaches' situations, all for the past, feels like most of Nick Saban's tenure there. They just weren't strong. LSU, Brian Kelly, you've already seen what he did in just 1 year. He took an LSU team and, made them back into what we're always used to, where it's going to be a death match, essentially. So Brian Kelly is going to have LSU ready to play against Alabama in the early part of November. So that's the stretch of games that you kind of have to can this Alabama team get through that stretch of games? Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU. All right. And then on the road against Auburn. I mean, let's not pretend, I don't care who the coach is, and then Hugh Freeze. That's at the end of the season. So at some point, you expect him to be able to get his team to a point where they start to gel to a certain point. Hugh Freeze has been there and he has done that. He's been all over. He's been in the SEC. He's not scared of Nick Saban. He's beaten Nick Saban on multiple occasions. So he's not going to be scared. Then he's going to have a Jordan-Hare crowd, and y'all already know Jordan-Hare is going to be crazy. I expect Auburn to look much improved than they did last year. All right. So that's going to be a very huge test. All right. So how do I see this playing out? I see Alabama losing at least one game. Which game? Is going to be either the Texas game. It's going to be either. I honestly don't think they'll lose those games at home. It'll either be the Texas game or the Auburn game. All right. It's going to be one of those, in my opinion, if they lose. All right. I think Alabama has an opportunity to run the table, but again, I'm expecting them to lose one game. So far, I need to see this is just the first installment of a schedule prediction. This can and will change as we get closer to fall camp. The more that we hear coming out of fall camp, if I feel like, okay, they don't know what they're going to do at the quarterback position, then you're talking about potentially losing 2 to 3 games this season. All right. And when you're talking about don't even worry about the SEC championship, just make this season respectable at this point. Because if they don't have a good handle on the quarterback situation or how they're going to go about their offense, then there's 2 to 3 games that can easily be lost just on that alone. Because, Lane Kiffin is going to put up points. Hugh Freeze is going to put up points. Arkansas is going to put up points. Tennessee is going to put up points. LSU is going to put up points. So yes, I believe the defense is going to be much improved, but you got to be able to score. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to score. So I don't think they'll lose all 5 of those games. I think they'll find a way to win, even with the quarterback position being, not as strong as you would like to be, because I like all the other pieces, the running backs, the offensive line. I like all those different aspects, and I feel like Nick Saban and company will figure out a way to win. However, if the quarterback situation is not at least, solid, where you just kind of know, okay, this is a guy. Again, Jake Coker was not a world beater. Let's be honest. Greg McElroy was not a world beater when Alabama won in 2009. But you knew who the guy was. Everybody was riding with them. And that's what I need to see. I need to hear that from Nick Saban. I need to hear that from the players when they're speaking. If there's any hesitation, then y'all already know. When I jump back on another podcast, that's exactly what I'm going to tell y'all. I don't like it. I don't like what I'm hearing. Nick Saban's not confident. The players aren't confident. Expect Alabama to lose early on in the season. And if they don't figure it out, expect them to lose multiple times during the season. Y'all can forget. Go ahead and wrap this up. Forget about the 2023 championship. There is no SEC championship. There won't be a national championship. So again, that's where I am in totality. Based on what I believe it could be, I believe that, like I said in my previous video, Jalen Milroe will win the starting position. I believe that the team is riding with him. But we have to see how it plays out in fall camp. So if it goes like that, I got one loss, and then, we'll kind of go from there. So, that's my thought. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you hit the like button, smash the like button, share this with your favorite Alabama fan. Make sure you run up our numbers on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, TD Alabama Mag. And I'm signing off. I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Brandon, aka Fresh. Y'all take care.